Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. If you haven't figured out yet, today we're talking about motorcycles, specifically one of the great American brands, Indian motorcycles. We have a nice mixture here of new Indians and some vintage ones from my collection here. This is a 1940 four-cylinder sidecar. But Indian is back, and this time they're back for good. I have been involved in, more than 2 or 3 times the revival of Indian. I've always been a little disappointed because I thought everybody's heart was in the right place, but unfortunately they didn't have the money or the engineering to do it properly. This time they've done it right. Polaris has bought Indian, and they're back with a vengeance. I rode these 3 new Indians here. Pretty amazing, pretty impressive bikes. Let's meet some of the gentlemen behind it. Steve Minetto. Steve, come on in. Greg Brew. Hi, guys. Now, Steve, what is your title?
Vice President of Motorcycles of Polaris Industries.
Okay, and you're?
Director of Industrial Design.
Director of Industrial Design. So you're the one responsible for the look of the bike.
Yes.
Well, I think you've done a great job. You know, if you like the classic look, you know, some of the previous versions of it just looked a little clunky to me. I think you've done a nice job integrating it. Let's take a look at some of the Indians here. As I said, that's my 1940. That's probably the classic style that people know. Or that one over there, the 46 Chief.
Yep.
And that's the look you're going for with this model here. Is this the, for lack of a better word, the base model?
Yes, the Chief Classic.
Okay, Chief Classic, okay. What are you looking at, about 1,800 cc's, that's what it is?
Yes.
That's 111
cubic
inches,
inches.
okay. You know, I'm really impressed with this because to me, you're not really in the transportation business until you make your own engine, whether you're a car or whether you're a motorcycle manufacturer. And the previous Indians, as much as I like S&S motors, they are a replacement for Harley. And to me, the other Indians were really just, if you didn't want a Harley, you bought a Harley lookalike. Whereas this is a totally brand new brand. And it's got the classic look, but it is a totally modern engine. And I was really impressed when I drove it, because I have to admit, when I first came, I said, all right, let me try this, because the last couple of times I was a little disappointed. Plenty of power. And the thing I like most about it is it's air-cooled. Well, air and oil-cooled.
Yes.
Probably safe to say. But tell me about the bike from the industrial design point.
When we first started talking, there was a lot of talk about what kind of motor it could be. It could have been a 4, it could have been a parallel twin, it could be a V-twin. It's an amazing thing to do a bike from scratch.
Right.
And that's something that I'd never done. I'm always given something.
Yeah.
You know, so to do something where it's an absolute clean sheet of paper. So I think, you know, we talked a lot about what would be the best market, or best part of the market to be in.
Well, I think you picked the right one to sort of copy.
Yep.
The 46. That's the classic Indian that people remember. Because in the 50s, Floyd Clymer bought Velocets and labeled them as Indians, and had a parallel twin, that was an Indian. But everybody remembers, you know, the classic Indian, the big V-twin or the big 4-cylinder. So I think you made the right choice there. You know, back in the old days, in the 20s and 30s, Harley Earl had a color and styling department. So when you opened the hood, the engine looked impressive. Nobody really cares what an engine in a car looks like anymore. It's a bit like a washing machine. It's covered with plastic and all this kind of stuff. Whereas a motorcycle engine's a bit like a watch. It's kind of a pretty face. You know, you want to be able to turn it over and see the mechanisms working.
Thank you.
It's a 6-speed,
Yes.
which of course they never had back in the day. Indians are always 3 speeds and a hand shift. Did you ever think of doing a hand shift?
No.
You probably couldn't nowadays, could you? That would be illegal.
I don't know whether, I don't think it's a legal problem, but I think it's definitely from a standpoint of
Yeah,
hands
I
and
know.
feet.
Yeah.
It's a coordinated dance to do that.
Give me some more specs on the bike. What does it weigh?
It's about 800 pounds.
800 pounds,
Yep.
okay. So, and that's real American chrome. No,
Yes.
no plastic cover
Yeah,
there.
no, this is all,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Aluminum frame,
That's right.
so cast aluminum backbone.
Right, right.
But then, you know, we did a steel down tube to carry that line down through
Right.
there and get that a little bit of that traditional appearance.
No tachometer.
Nope.
No. We don't really need a tach when you have this much torque.
You can get up there digitally, right? You can.
Yeah.
And I see you copied the, did the factory do this Spirit of Munro Special?
No, Jeb did that. Jeb
Jeb did
Speed
that.
out of Long Beach.
Oh, very nice. Did a nice job.
Ooh,
Was
yes.
that in conjunction with you guys?
Yeah, actually, he handled the design and all the metal work on that. And did
Yeah,
the
if you saw the
development of
movie, what was it, The Last Indian? Was that the name of the movie?
World's
World's
Fastest
Fastest
Indian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great
Anthony
film.
Hopkins.
And Burt Munro some of us got to know him when he was around here. He was quite elderly at the time. And my friend Dean Hensley, who has passed away, he has Burt Munro's bike. And this is just a beautiful recreation using, of course, a modern engine. Here, this is your base model. This is, what do you call this one?
This is the Chief Classic
Chief Classic.
at $18,000.
$18,000.
And this is the Chief Vintage at
Right.
$20,999.
Indy gets mad at me. I call this the Village People package.
For those who like fringe.
If you like the fringe or the Gene Autry
Hey, but
package.
this is all real leather.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not vinyl.
No, it's nicely
And on the
done.
bags, too.
There's nothing on the bike that is just for show. It all seems to be functional. Everything seems to work. And it has a lot of modern features, keyless ignition and all
Yes.
that kind of stuff. But it just idles nicely and runs nicely. And this one here was the classic Indian. This was the best handling motorcycle of the 30s, the 101 Scout. I was fortunate enough to have dinner with President Reagan once at the White House. And he said, "Jay, you like motorcycles, is that right?" Yes, Mr. President. "Well, I had an Indian. You know what that is?" "Yes, Mr. President." "Well, that was a fantastic motor." And we talked motorcycles. That was kind of cool. And this is probably your best handling modern bike, isn't it? Correct?
Yeah, this is our newest, our top of the line bike right now. It's called the Indian Chieftain. And it is a fared bagger.
Now the steering head's a little different than the
Yep.
angle's a little different, isn't it, than the
A couple
other?
degrees steeper.
Okay, so it's a little lighter steering.
Yep.
My favorite thing is how the engine is the centerpiece of the motorcycle. You know, the fact that we've got space here and space here, so your eye can kind of look through it as well. A lot of times, when you look at modern motorcycles, they bring the plastic right up to the motor here, and it looks like a sealed unit. I mean, I like the openness of that.
Yeah.
Is that something you strive to get?
Yeah, we tried to keep it. We tried to keep it really compact. I mean, if you look at this motor compared to the predecessor, the
Right.
Gilroy or the Kings Mountain era, this motor is almost 4 inches shorter.
Yeah, I like how short the motor is, and there's a lot of technology in here as well. This is a true dual system, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's in here to get this downward-facing exhaust. There's a short investment cast stainless steel manifold that comes off, so that we get that right-looking, exhaust path, and then there's a fin pack that bolts on over the outside of that.
And look at, it's interesting when you look at a lot of air-cooled motorcycles, the ones that aren't built to a certain standard, they usually have rubber in between here
For vibration.
for vibration to take the ringing
we
out.
don't
And
need that.
The fact that you don't have that
Nope.
shows that it shows the integrity of the unit.
Yep.
This is really a great motor. It's really an impressive motor. You should Google the engine, and if you're a technical guy, I think you'd be impressed at what a great job they've done here. I mean, it's real engineers. It's not just hot rodders, it's guys that went to college. And it's very, very impressive. And as you said, you have the 3 cams as well.
Yep.
Nicely done, nicely done. And it's air-cooled, which is, of
Yes.
course, what Indian is all about.
Yes.
I think this is probably the first modern air-cooled engine I can think of. Nobody does
Yep.
air-cooled anymore, so that takes a lot of guts to do air-cooled still.
And we can make it live on the Autobahn. We can see it also going forward and fulfilling all our
Yeah.
clean air requirements.
I
and
mean,
everything
it
in
was
the
100
future.
degrees when I drove that one,
Yep.
and I didn't get any power loss or none of that, Very impressive. And boy, it pulls really strong. How much torque? What is the torque?
It's 119 foot-pounds.
119 foot-pounds. And of course, it's almost exact copy of the 1946 Fender. When you look at this bike and you look at the modern one, 100 mile an hour on this bike is really scary. 85, 90 is really scary. This bike, it won't do 100. Of course, this is the part I love here, this massive flathead look, which you've managed to copy without being looking goofy. Sometimes when they try to copy vintage stuff, it just looks off. But I think you guys have done a great job. You know something? It's probably time to take this for a ride. All right, we'll fire it up in here, and we'll take it up to the door, and I'll get my helmet and jacket. And it's got the keyless entry. It means you can keep the key in your pocket, or these are a cool little thing under the seat here. You can hide the key in there if you want. You power it up, and they hit the button. Sounds good. The nice thing is when a motor's quiet, you can make your exhaust a little noisier. You're allowed X number of decibels. I don't know what it is, but if your engine is noisy, then you got to make your muffler quieter. If your engine is quiet, you can get a little more sound out of your pipes. very nicely. If I'm not mistaken, it's done a pretty good job of getting that Indian red color. You know, that's about as close to my 46 as you can get. Now look at the mirrors. There's no vibration at all in these mirrors. That's a great thing. As much as I like sports bikes and cafe racers and stuff, sometimes these big cruisers, they're just so comfortable. You know, it's just a nice bike to go for a ride on a Sunday. And with this model, you know, as he mentioned, the steering head's, the angle's a little bit different. So it's very light, it handles very nice. Boy, it doesn't feel like an 800-pound motorcycle. And it pulls away very nicely. Open the throttle in any gear and she pulls away. Got a gear indicator right here. As you can see, 6th gear. At 50, you're barely 2,000 RPM. Kind of like driving a lazy boy recliner, you know, you just sit back and you relax. It's really comfortable. And you got ABS, which is kind of cool. Nice loud horn. I really like this bike. It's comfortable, it's fast. Let's take it up on the freeway, see how she cruises. When we get up on the freeway, we'll put the windscreen all the way up and see how much the buffeting changes. As you can see, she pulls very nicely. You'll see the windscreen going up. There you go. That works nice. Takes all the buffing out of here so I can keep my shield open. 60 miles an hour, we're talking about 2,200 RPM. Look at two proud parents here worried I'm going to ruin your kid. Well, I got to say, guys, it's really a no excuses motorcycle. We've had three of these bikes for a week, and I've been riding them. My guy's been riding them. No electrical problems, no false neutrals, no leaking gas. I mean, it's really nice to see. You know, there was a while there where the American motorcycle industry was down on the ropes. We had to have tariffs, and the Japanese were kicking our butt. Well, now we got two major motorcycle companies, and it's really exciting. This is built in the heartland, right in Iowa. It's beautifully done. You know, you can't be in the business with anything less than an A these days, and this is really an A+. Just a nice job. So go check out these new Indians. This is, you know, third time's the charm, and this is the third time, so nice work, guys.
Thanks, Jay.
Steve, Greg,
Thank you.
go check them out. They're pretty cool. See you next week.
Mm-hmm.